Greetings, my name is Sean Liburd, and I'm the owner of Knowledge Bookstore. I'm also the author of Awaken the Mind Communion with Sean Liburd. And today I'm going to be asking a question to which I'm going to give some of my answers to that question. And I would like to also get some of your answers to that question. And you can make comments below this video and let me know your answers to this question. So the question is, what are you prepared to do to help to build your community, right? What are you prepared to do to help to build your community, right? So my first one to that is I'm prepared to love myself. I am prepared to love myself. And why is that important? Because if I don't love myself, how am I going to be loving anyone else? How am I going to be saying I love anyone else? How am I going to be saying I love my community? I got to learn to respect and to love myself. And that by no means is that perfect. I don't have it perfect. But I know what I'm striving for. I know the journey is towards getting it as close to perfect as possible. It may never get to perfect, but consciously, that's what I strive for every day, to love myself, right? To love myself. And in loving myself, I have to learn to forgive myself. Because if I can't forgive myself, I can't love myself because I'm going to have resentments about myself, right? When I don't do the things that I know I should do. And I can't reframe that and go at it again without beating up on myself too much, then the love dwindles. So my first thing is to love myself, to learn to love myself continuously. I'm prepared to do that. I'm working at it, right? I'm working at it. It's a work in progress. My second one is to know thyself. And when I say know thyself, I'm going to do it in two levels. The first one is personally. Right? I got to know my personal self. I got to understand how my experiences in life has influenced me, has affected me. What's the results of the various experiences that I've had in life? What are the results? And I see those results in my life. Some are good, some are not so good. How do I change that? How do I identify the good ones, the ones that empowers me and the ones that disempowers me? And how do I change it, right? So I have to get to know that aspect of myself. I have to get to know the things that's influenced me in life, like the educational system, the religious system, my religious systems, our spiritual beliefs, right? How did I gain those beliefs? I have to know and understand those things, right? I have to. So there's a lot of influences that we have. The family unit has influenced you, the family that you grew up in, the neighborhood, the friends. There's a lot of things that's influenced you in life, and just the conditioning around you, right? A TV commercial can influence you, right? But you have to get to know thyself. So on the personal level, and then I'll take it to the next level where I have to get to know my ancestral self, right? And when I say that, I'm talking about the cultural aspect to me, because there is a set of people that I share a common ancestry with. We're culturally connected. And as such, those people can have, we have the same psychological, we have the same psychological influences or results, if you might say, you know, that because we share common ancestry, right? For example, from the African race, we have experienced things such as colonialism, we experience slavery, we experience the civil rights years, right? Whether it's the civil rights years or it's apartheid, the struggle was the same, right? We experienced the Jim Crow, the lynchings, the prison system, the industrial complex of the prison system that now goes on, right? And the different challenges we have with the police force out there. These are things that we have in common, and those are all part of getting to know thyself, right? Getting to know thyself, because there's a set of people that shares things in common that others don't, and that makes us more of a tribe, if I might use the word a tribe, right? So know thyself is the second thing that I'm prepared to do. I'm prepared to love myself. I'm prepared to know myself. And the third one is to create healthy families, right? To create healthy families or to build healthy families. We're all born into a family. We have blood family, and we're all born into that family. It is good to have some kind of relationship with them, preferably something, a stronger relationship. I understand the challenges. I'm not going to be unrealistic here. There is challenges in that, and for a lot of reasons, families sometimes don't get along, right? Hopefully, it doesn't get to that point of detriment, but you can try to build the best relationship you can with your blood relatives. You can also build family relationships with people that have things in common as yourself. So community members that share common characteristics as yourself, common goals, and so forth, right? They're just complementary to you, right? You can embrace them as family the same way, because I think family is more of a feeling. It's more of a feeling that we put to people. We have the blood relative definition, then we have people they just feel like family, and they are family, and it's that simple. So build strong, healthy families. Learn forgiveness, communication, and respect, right? And respect. So those are some of the things that I'm prepared to do, right? So back up, love myself, know myself, build healthy families, right? Educate your children, right? I'm prepared to educate my children. As a matter of fact, I homeschool my daughter, and I homeschool my daughter because first thing, I want my daughter to have a strong sense of self. I want her to know who she is, right? I want her to know who she is, because when she goes into the world out there, there's a lot of influences, and people are always going to try and convince you that you're something that you're not, that you should be doing something that you shouldn't be doing. So I wanted to have that strong sense of self, so that when those things comes her way, she has a choice. She may make the wrong one. Don't get me wrong, because sometimes we do have a strong sense of choice, but we make the wrong one either way. So I'm not trying to say that this is a this is an absolute, right? It's nothing is absolute. Sometimes we all experience things, and we have to have those experiences for ourselves. Unfortunately, I don't think it's necessary, but our actions sometimes makes it necessary, right? So that is my fourth one. Um, my fifth one is to nurture my body and mind. Nurture my body and mind. So I'm prepared to nurture my body and my mind. And when I say nurture my body and mind, I mean I'm prepared to do exercises, to have an exercise routine that I follow, right? I am prepared to feed my body as best as I can. My eating habits hasn't always been the best, right? But I am improving that on a daily basis. Although for me personally, I believe it's a lot more than just what we eat, right? It's a lot more than what we eat. So there's detoxing, because there's a lot of toxins in our environment, right? So we have to deal with the things that we breathe in also, right? So we have to deal with the products that we use that seeps into our pores, our skin, right? We use lotions and soaps and so forth, toothpaste. So it's more of a holistic approach and trying to take it step by step and improving that. But the most important part to me is to being consciously aware of it, right? I'm also feeding my mind. I feed my mind through reading, through discussions, right? Through discussions with others, through listening, I feed my mind, right? Through writing, I feed my mind, right? So it's that process of doing things that will uplift you physically and mentally, right? Physically, mentally, and you throw the spiritual in there too, because you got to throw the spiritual, because your spiritual practices will also help you mentally, right, and emotionally, right? Because if we know how to deal with our emotions in a healthy way, then it also helps us overall to feed the physical and the mind, right? We feed those two things. So that's one other thing that I am prepared to do. I am also very community minded. I run a business that is community oriented, and the products that I sell are cultural products, right? So the books are written by people, African people. Let me just say it, African people. The books are written by African people. Yes, there's books that's written by non-Africans also about African issues and African people and African history, right? So something has to connect back. Something has to connect back to the community for the product to be here, right? So it's a community member writing it, it's being written about a community member. The product's also the same thing, right? The ingredients coming from Africa. It's a black company that's producing the products, right? It's got to be like that, right? So I have a loyalty to my race, and I'm not ashamed of that, right? I have loyalty to my race. To me, that's just like saying I have loyalty to my family, and there's no shame in that. There is absolutely none. So that's why I'm saying it. I am loyal to my race, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done within my community, and I am taking on some of that challenge on myself. I'm trying to do my part in that aspect of things. So I also try to support community businesses. That's not perfect because there's a lot of things that we still need in place, but we do the best we can with what we have. And right now there's community businesses that I can support, right? There is professionals that I can use and have my invest my money in those people, right? In those professionals, in their services, and in their businesses being successful and being here, growing, being successful and growing, and hopefully being able to create employment for others, opportunities for others, right? So that's how I am community minded. I say hi to my brothers and my sisters on the streets, right? A simple thing like that, just greeting your brothers and sisters in the street, acknowledging them, right? That's being community minded, right? I give reference to my ancestors. I'm nothing without my ancestors. I wouldn't be here without my ancestors, right? So I, I have to applaud them for what they've done. I am the living results of their sacrifice, their decisions, right? I'm the living results. So I'm community minded, and I will continue to be community minded. So let's do a recap. Number one, I'm loving myself. Number two, I am getting to know myself, knowledge of self. Number three, I am building, sorry, number three, I've had number three. Number 3 is building, yeah, strong foundational families, building the family strong, right? See? Anyways, building the family strong, making sure you have strong family units. Number 4 was educating the children. So I'm taking a role in that, educating my child, trying my best to educate other people's child, at least providing the tools and the resources to help. And when I can, do a bit of mentoring and so forth, right? So educating the children, nurturing my mind and body, and then I got to being community minded, right? Okay, number 5, learn from the ancestors and take it a step further. Now, I got a great deal of respect for my ancestors, right? My ancestors, I mean, let's start the other way first. My ancestors, yes, they've made a lot of mistakes. They made mistakes. They're just like us. They made mistakes. They made poor decisions. They had egos. They had fears. They had all of those things. They were human, right? I'm not going to sit here and criticize them, right? Because I also realize on the other side, there was ancestors that they left, they left a blueprint for a lot of things for us, right? They contributed, they sacrificed, they gave their life, they gave their freedom so that the generations to come could build upon what they started building. And I feel that it's my job to continue that process, right? And I'm just one small piece of the puzzle. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to build up my head like that. I'm one little piece of the puzzle. But as one little piece of the puzzle, I got to play my role. And I see my role as to be able to know what my ancestors has contributed, what they've done, and to be able to also recognize the places that they falter, and to make sure that I don't do the same thing, right? Make sure I don't suffer from the same paralysis, the same fears, you know. So I love my ancestors, and I am going to try and build upon everything that they've done to get us a step closer. But like I said, this is a long distance race. So I'm going to do my part, and hopefully there's others that's going to come behind me that's going to continue along the lines that I'm building, right? And continue along the lines where others are building, because small pieces of the puzzle, right? But when the puzzle comes together, it's a celebration, right? When the puzzle comes together, it's a celebration. So I'm going to learn from my ancestors. I'm prepared to learn from my ancestors and take it a little bit further, improve upon what they have contributed, and taking it a little bit further, right? Number 8 is build positive relationships with community members. Now, I can't say I love I can't say I love my community without loving my community members. The members are who makes up the community. The community is nothing without the members. So I gotta be able to love my community members also. And for me to be able to love my community members, I gotta be able to see it as loving myself. When I love my brother, I gotta see that as loving myself, because my brother is a reflection of me. When I love my sister, I gotta see that as being loving myself, because my sister is a reflection of me, right? When I respect my brother, I gotta know I'm respecting myself. When I respect my sister, I gotta know I'm respecting myself, right? So to develop those relationships and to have positive relationships, and when we can't work together, when our differences might be that great, we can still respect each other. We can still respect each other, right? That's an easy thing, right? It's an easy thing. Our egos shouldn't get that big that we cannot see value in something else someone is doing just because it's different to what, in something else someone believes just because it's different to what I believe, My ego isn't that big. I know in certain instances, I don't have the absolute answers. I don't have the absolute answers. My belief system might tell me this is the way to go, but it's not absolute, right? It's not absolute. I'm not going to tell my brother, hey, you're totally wrong. Your approach to this is totally wrong, right? I know I've made missteps. I've made bad decisions, right? Decisions that didn't empower me the way I needed them to, right? All of that is a part of life. It's part of the process. But I'm not going to tell my brother, respect my brother just because, we're not doing the same thing at the same time. And number 9, the last thing I'm prepared to do, I hope I got my numbers correct here, but the last thing I'm prepared to do is I'm prepared to respect and learn from nature. My ancestors have done that for centuries, right? My ancestors have respected nature and they have learned from nature. And nature is one of our greatest teachers, right? We don't control nature. Nature is here to demonstrate to us. And if we're good students, we will observe nature, we will be aware of nature, and we will learn from nature, right? We will learn from nature. And we'll see, because there's so many interesting concepts in nature, so many interesting things that it parallels the life that we live, and we are part of nature. We are interconnected to nature. So to separate ourselves from nature is unwise. It's unwise. So I'm prepared to respect and learn from nature. Now, let's see. Can we recap? Let me go back to this and see. First, number 1, I'm prepared to love myself. Number 2, I'm prepared to know myself, to get to know myself. Number 3, I am prepared to build and appreciate the family. Build and appreciate the family. Number 4, I'm prepared to educate the children, my children and your children. Number 5, I am prepared to nurture the body and mind. Number 6, I am prepared to be community-minded. Right? I'm prepared to be community-minded. That's number 6. Number 7, I'm prepared to learn from the ancestors. Number 7, I'm prepared to learn from the ancestors and take it a step further. Number 8, I am prepared to build positive relationships with community members. I'm prepared to build positive relationships with community members that's mutually beneficial and serves the community overall. And number 7, I am prepared to respect. Number 7, where am I here? Bye, big mess up. Number 9, I am prepared to respect and learn from nature. So that's my list of things that I'm prepared to do. If you would be so kind as to jot down a few things that you're prepared to do to help build your community, it would be appreciated. Right, so you can just jot a list, some comments down below, and it will really be appreciated. So my name again is Sean Liburd, and I am a community servant. I'm the owner of Knowledge Bookstore, and my purpose is to serve and to present the tools for my community and anyone else that's interested in learning about African culture, history, our heritage, right? Anyone else that's interested in that, anyone that's interested in that. But I'm here to build my community first and foremost. Have yourself a blessed day.